Hi everybody, I'm Nolan. Hoffman, thanks for joining us for East Texas in Focus tonight. Let's get started. Earlier this week, 2 children were killed and 17 other people injured, 14 of them school kids, after somebody opened fire on a church in Minneapolis. It happened Wednesday morning as children from a Catholic school attended a mass celebrating the beginning of a new school year. Police say the suspected shooter is dead and the search for a motive is underway. The FBI has also said it's investigating the shooting as a domestic terrorism and a hate crime against Catholics. As students get settled back into classroom and following the tragedy at that Catholic school in Minneapolis this week, tonight we are focusing on school safety, discussing current safety protocols at some of our campuses, what some of our local schools are doing to prevent a tragedy, and while it's never easy, what you can do at home in moments like this. That's why we're bringing in 2 experts, actually 3 experts tonight. We want to welcome in Chief Bill Avra. He has more than 50 years of experience in law enforcement. He is currently Chief of Police of Emergency Manager for the Jacksonville Independent School District. Chief Avra is also on the board of directors of the Texas School Safety Center as well. We also want to welcome in Tyler Junior College Chief of Police Michael Seal. He is a 20-year veteran of law enforcement and has been leading the police department there at TJC for the last 7 years. Also with us tonight is Jeff Williams. He is TJC's Director of Risk Management, Emergency Preparedness, and Institutional Safety. Thank you all for joining us tonight. We really appreciate it.
Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely.
Yes, thank you.
Absolutely. So, guys, I want to get started with something I want everybody to answer here. What first comes to your mind when you heard about the Minneapolis school shooting, their Catholic school? What happened? Chief Avra, I want to start with you on that.
So Nolan, I think what we are beginning to find out is all too common in things that happen like this around the country. This shooter appears to have had some connection with the school, possibly attended there or had a parent or another relative that worked there. And throughout some of the writings that she made, which is also very unusual, that it's a female as opposed to a male, indicates that there was a substantial amount of depression, mental illness possibly even a cancer diagnosis in some of the writings she made. And so it goes to the heart of where we are today in school safety, is looking at performing behavioral threat assessments on people who we believe may have mental problems that might lead them to either get on the pathway to violence or remain on it.
Chief Seal, what can you tell us about that?
So just to expand, with the same thing, what was the motive behind this shooting? What can we do to prevent that, or not necessarily prevent it, but identify the key factors to getting that individual help, so that if they are on that path to violence, measures are in place to identify that, try to get them the help that they need, whether it be the mental health aspect of it, or if there's something else going on in their life. And
Jeff, what can you tell us on this?
I would say that communication is the key, and awareness, communicating between your different parties, whether it be local or inside the institutions themselves, but being aware of the situations and how we can plan for it moving forward.
Chief Avra, I want to go to you next here. Incidents like that can certainly be scary for any parent across the country, and especially here in East Texas. When it comes to your campuses, how can you reassure parents that they are safe right now?
Well, Nolan, all of us in the state of Texas are governed by the same statutes, and we're required to have multi-hazard emergency operations plans that are reviewed annually by both the Texas School Safety Center as well as the Texas Education Agency. And the legislature gives us a variety of things that have to be included. We have to touch on the 5 phases of emergency management. We have to have very specific active threat annexes and appendices, we call them. And so, and then we have to go tell our Safety and Security Committee on the public school side, as well as our school board, that we are in compliance with these things. And if you are not in compliance by some recent legislation that has been passed, then the TEA can step in and ensure. So while we can't talk in specifics about our emergency protocols and plans, obviously we don't want the bad guy or gal to know what we're planning. We do have procedures and policies in place and intercommunications with our other agency partners. So at the bottom line, we're going to tell our parents what we can as quickly as we can What we don't need them to do is start freaking out and coming to the campuses until we have made sure that everyone's safe.
Chief Seal, I want to go to you next here. You are dealing with some different factors, an open and spread out main campuses, several other satellite campuses, and irregular schedules of students. How do you reassure families and students right now that they're all safe there?
So one thing we can do is we have a police department on campus. We're there 24/7. We do have active patrols 24/7. We also have our own dispatch center. So that dispatch center, any calls that come in to us, they come into a local person on campus. We currently don't contract that out, so an individual on campus can dispatch our officers quickly if there is an incident. But also we have a multi-layered approach to reporting. So an individual on campus, whether it be faculty, staff, or student, can report suspicious behavior. They can either call that into us, or they can refer it to the BIT team or through the behavioral intervention team, or they can report it through our Rave Guardian app. So we've got a multi-layered approach to that reporting things. So I mean, we are unique in the fact that we are a spread out campus. We're different than the ISDs, that we are a spread out campus, varying schedules and everything like that. But for us, it's really important to communicate. If you see something, say something. We would rather get the information and investigate it and it not be anything than not get reported to us and it actually be something.
Jeff, is there anything else you wanted to add to that?
As Bill and Chief also said, the communication part, I'm in touch with K through 12 schools here locally, along with our local law enforcement, federal agencies, and any kind of information they have from the outside, I can come in and communicate with our team as well, so they have a better understanding of what's going on even outside of our campus.
And Chief Averill, what kind of training does your personnel take part in, and is that required by the state?
Yes, it is. We all take active shooter training, active threat training. We're all alert certified. That's House Bill 3, two sessions back, mandated that for all peace officers in the state of Texas. So it's a 16-hour active shooter response training that is excellent. It's the gold standard, we believe. We also have constant opportunities to address our staff on the campus, whether it's faculty or support staff or whatever. We get FaceTime with them every year as well, so to keep them abreast of the new changes and what we're expecting them to do in the event of a tragedy. So it's an ongoing process. It's not a one and done deal ever.
Chief Seal, what can you tell me on that question?
Same thing. All of our officers are required to do 16 hours minimum of alert training every year. All of our officers have been through the level 1 alert class, whether it's, well, one thing we did make sure is all of our officers have been through the new alert class. Things change, strategy change, everything's adaptive, so we made sure that everybody had been through alert, one of the most recent ones. We also do training sessions for the faculty, staff, and students. Jeff and I just got through doing a convocation session here recently, and then I know Lauren Tyler and her group in the past has asked us to do presentation sessions regarding training. As Chief said, it's all ongoing, it's fluid, it's never static. So, as things change and as things adapt, our training, whether it be ourselves as law enforcement or the training we're providing to the campus community, changes with the new tactics and approaches.
And Jeff, is there anything you wanted to add on what he said?
As Bill said also, the OPs that we have in the annexes, they're not just a one-time deal, they're actually almost like live documents. As events evolve and we need to update our annexes, so we have plans in place and then we communicate those out of how the small changes that we need to take into account.
All right, guys, thanks for being with us here tonight. That's a good start tonight. When we come back with East Texas in Focus, we talk prevention with Chiefs Averill and Seal, and Jeff as well, Jeff Williams, more in depth with our topic, We'll be right back in just a couple of moments. Welcome back. Tonight we're focusing on school safety. Recently, a rash of fake calls reporting active shooter incidents at schools, known as swatting, has increased dramatically in recent years. In the last week alone, there have been at least 7 such calls to universities across the United States, from Arizona to South Carolina. Monday, at least 5 schools were victims of the fake emergency calls. It's a disturbing and dangerous trend, leaving students and parents on edge. And as now, it's unclear what's behind the recent rash. And let's get back into that very topic here. Chief Seal, I want to get to you on this topic. Of course, like I just mentioned, swatting hoaxes on college campuses have sparked panic at those schools and other schools who haven't experienced them. What's your message to something like that? And if somebody does something and gets caught, what's kind of the punishment for something like that?
So you've got a range of punishment. You could get charged with the crime at the state level, but you could also get charged with the crime at the federal level. So if that happens, and if we get a call, we will obviously respond as if it's real, investigate it out to determine, is it an active attack threat or not? Is it one of these swatting calls? Once we determine that the college is safe, the campus is safe, the building is safe, et cetera, then we'll start working with our counterparts with Tyler PD, FBI, to try to track down and determine who did this, so that way the appropriate charges can be filed, whether it's better to file the federal charges or whether it's better to file the state charges.
Chief Averill, what can you tell me on that? What's your reaction to all this happening right now around the United States?
Well, we all know, and we have done this for many years, where we see a lot of copycats and a lot of hoax calls in behind real events. So everyone kind of, when you see something like happened yesterday in Minneapolis, then you start to realize that there's a great likelihood that there will be additional hoaxes or swatting calls. And so it's a vigilance. It's vigilance. We constantly remind our students not to use social media for nefarious purposes, to be very careful when you respond to unexpected text messages that often cause them to get drawn into some kind of hoax like that. So it is a problem, and it's been a problem for a long time. But fortunately, as Chief Seal said, we have excellent cooperation in East Texas with the FBI, the DPS, and local law enforcement to supplement what we're doing to get on those things quickly.
I want to stay with you, Chief Averill, right now. So, of course, to stop any heartache, prevention, as I'm guessing all of you would agree, prevention is key to all that. Talk to me about prevention at your district. What does that look like right now?
Well, prevention is the key to the, and really it's the first of the 5 phases of emergency management. Anything you can prevent, you don't have to deal with. So it's constant education, it's constant reminder, it's sending out messages and reminding people about safety, it being first and foremost, to be aware of their surroundings and those kind of things, just to ensure that we're all on the same page. And that includes staff. We've all had to implement silent panic alert technology recently, and that's even part of our, not only our prevention, but our mitigation and response, which we can talk about later. But there are a lot of opportunities now in the school safety realm since the Uvalde tragedy for us to be able to communicate directly with our stakeholders and our constituents, and that's part of what's key to reassuring people that you really do have a plan and you're not just making stuff up.
Jeff, what can you tell me on prevention and everything about what you guys are doing there?
Again, it's a lot of it's communication, especially with the FBI and DPS. Bill's spot on. Whenever these kinds of things happen, they send us the details, let us know what they investigate, how they investigate it, what they find out, and they convey it to us. We communicate it out to our staff so they know what kind of alert to be on when these things happen.
And Chief Seal, on prevention, is there anything you feel needs to be worked on? Not even just here in Texas, but across the country when it comes to prevention of these type of things?
I think the biggest thing is, not necessarily worked on, but it needs to be stressed that anytime you see signs that this type of attack may be happening, or even if it's somebody doing a swatting, look for those signs and report it to your local law enforcement. That way we can, as Chief said, if we can prevent it from happening, whether it's an actual active attack or even a swatting case because somebody wants some notoriety or they want copycats, then if we can prevent it, then it will help us out in the law enforcement realm.
And Chief Averill, so I want to go to you right now. So reporting what you see, like I think you mentioned earlier, anything out of the ordinary or even rumors floating around can be extremely helpful in preventing a tragedy like we saw there in Minnesota. How can somebody make a report to you right now if they see something they're concerned about?
So we do have a See Something, Say Something campaign, much like TJC has, where we have anonymous reporting. It's available through our website. It's also available, we're a member of iWatch Texas, and we get school safety reports. We're subscribed to school safety reports and can also communicate with individuals two-way that way. So there are many opportunities. One of the things that we have really focused on in Jacksonville is getting our paraprofessionals. You stop and think about it, Nolan, the first person that sees our students every day is the school bus driver in many instances. And we believe that those folks are key to helping us identify any kind of unusual behaviors. They transport 60 or 70% of our students on a day's basis. So long before the teacher sees them, long before the coaches see them, long before even the lunchroom ladies see them. And conversely, they're the last employee of ours that usually sees them every day taking them home. So it does take a village, and so we do need to encourage, and we teach our paraprofessionals to watch for subtle signs that might indicate that someone is thinking about or contemplating doing something like this.
And Chief Seal, what can you tell me on your message for students and even parents or other employees there if they see something to say something?
Obviously, like I said before, we've got a multi-layer approach, but if you see something, call us. You can call our police department at any point, 24/7, 365. Again, see something, say something, call us. It doesn't matter how small it is, you may think it is, give us a call and let us know what's going on so that we can start investigating it. And then we can, if we need to get other campus stakeholders involved, then we can do that as well.
Okay, I appreciate it. When we return, the role mental health plays in tragedies at schools and how state lawmakers are protecting our children right now. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back in just a couple of moments. All right, welcome back with East Texas in Focus. Tonight we are focusing on school safety. We are joined tonight by Chief Bill Avra with Jacksonville ISD and Chief Michael Seal, and Jeff Williams with Tyler Junior College. So, guys, I want to get to another important topic on all this of what we've been discussing. So, in many recent mass shootings, we later find out the shooter presented mental health issues. What should parents, staff, and other children, what can they kind of look for when it comes with maybe spotting somebody with mental health issues? Chief Avra, I want to start with you on that.
Sure, Nolan. I think some of the most important things, and not in any particular order, you need to be aware of change in demeanor. You need to be aware of change in attitude. You need to be aware of change of maybe their appearance. Their hygiene starts to suffer. They begin to have indications that maybe they're a little delusional, or their friends change, or that all of a sudden they were happy, gregarious, and everything was good, to all of a sudden they're very down and depressed. And the first thing that a lot of folks want to do is run to the doctor and say, oh, well, they've got ADD or ADHD or whatever other condition they might have. But really, it is that observation and being engaged as a parent, as a staff, as other students. And that's where the See Something, Say Something is so important, because we cannot help a student that is exhibiting signs of potential mental illness and provide resources and support to that family until we hear about it. And so if you have 4,800 students, 4,600 students, if you have 500 students, it would still be next to impossible to watch every one of them to see from a law enforcement standpoint or from other professionals. So we really do have to have that input.
Chief Seal, I want to ask you the same question there, but what can maybe parents, children, and others do if that person isn't showing these types of signs? Because in some cases they turn out to be maybe completely normal and nobody knew a thing that they were going through some stuff.
I mean, it's to piggyback off what Chief said here, just being aware. I mean, there may be, you're looking on the outside and there may not be anything there, but there may be just a small, slight difference that happens over a period of time. You know, their hygiene may be fine, but all of a sudden they're not interacting with their friends as much, and they may just say, oh, well, I'm busy with school, or school's got me stressed. However, you know, that first part of school, at midterm, whatever they're going through at the time, that time ends, but they're still not interacting with their friends, so to speak. That would be my suggestion. While there may be dramatic changes in their behavior, their mood, etc., also be on the lookout for those small changes that occur over time.
Jeff, what can you tell me on this?
I can say that it's not just at particular or specific ISDs, because we have so many of them around our area. At TJC, we receive all of those students, and it's really only a 3-month time span. So if there's something brewing already and some small changes going on, it doesn't just end because high school ends. That's whenever they come to us, and it's still there. It may expand, but that's when we have to start looking for it also, and that's why us all working together matters so much.
All right, we appreciate the input on this topic, guys, tonight here. When we come back, we'll have closing words on our topic in just a couple of moments. All right, welcome back tonight. We are here for the final messages of all our guests. So, Chief Avra, I want to start with you. What's your final message on this topic with everything going on, especially in Minnesota there?
You know, the message is to be vigilant and to be aware of your surroundings, and don't ever be afraid to report something you hear. Sometimes people don't want to get involved, they don't want to be a part of the problem, they think, or they don't want to be the snitch or the rat or whatever you want to call it, but there are not enough of us to go around to effectively police without additional eyes and ears. And so it's not about punishing anybody. Threat assessments are not about punishment, they're about getting the student and their families, and it's oftentimes a combination, the resources and support and services that they need to be successful and to either get off of or stay off of that pathway to violence. And so my word to them is be engaged with your student and don't distrust the school or the authorities. Let us be a resource for you.
Chief Seal, what's your message to East Texas families right now who maybe are concerned?
So prevention is key. We've discussed that throughout the course of this conversation. Prevention is key. Looking for those subtle changes, looking for those subtle signs that something may be off, whether it's at home or changes in the classroom, et cetera. As Chief said, you know, we can't be everywhere at once, so we rely a lot on everybody looking at these signs. The students, you know, the parents, teachers, staff, they're around the students more than we are. Now, I know we're saying students, but overall, you know, everybody's around other people more so. Whereas, you know, we've got a limited interaction. So anytime they see something, again, say something, report it to us. That goes with the prevention part, but then also don't be afraid to report. You know, we don't have to name you. You can be anonymous when you're reporting, but don't feel that, you know, you're going to be punished or you're going to be called out if it's false or anything like that. Again, we would like to investigate it, determine what it is, and get the person the help that they need, if that's certainly what they need, to prevent any act of violence or anything like that.
And then quickly, Jeff, what's your final thoughts on this topic?
I would say all parents can contact us. We are resources. So if they don't know what to look for, contact us to ask, because the kids nowadays, they play so many different types of video games, and a lot of times that's how they start becoming communicated with on the outside, and we don't know it. So some of these things, we already have resources to allow them to help the parents so they know what to start looking for.
All right, we want to thank all three of you for coming on tonight on this hot button topic right now.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you for the invitation.
Absolutely. We will, of course, have more East Texas in Focus next week. Have a good night on your Saturday.